Shinya Inoué was born in 1921 in London, England, the son of a Japanese diplomat. He attended high school in Japan and higher education at Tokyo University, where he met Professor Katsuma Dan, who sparked his interest in experimental science. Dan challenged Inoué to build a microscope that would allow the observation of dynamic cellular structures, specifically with the mitotic spindle in the sea urchin embryo. Just after World War II, with laboratory supplies hard to find, Inoué built his first polarized light microscope from a discarded machine gun base and a tin tea can, parts found in the area of the Masaki Marine Biological Station in Japan. Shinya arrived in the United States for a fellowship at Princeton University in 1948, and during his summers, he did research at the Marine Biological Laboratory at the encouragement of Katsuma Dan. He returned to MBL in Woods Hole each summer throughout his time as a student and then as a faculty member at Dartmouth College and subsequently at the University of Pennsylvania. During that time, he made many improvements upon his microscope, which many people fondly called the Shinya Scope. Although it could be configured as either an upright or inverted microscope, Shinya most often used it in the inverted mode, meaning that rather than looking down through the top of a standard microscope, the eyepieces were down at the bottom. Using this microscope, Shinya developed techniques for viewing cell motility and cytoskeleton in live cells. One of his major finds using polarized light microscopy was showing that mitotic spindle fibers were responsible for segregating chromosomes during mitosis. He later developed a centrifugation polarizing microscope that exerts forces on live cells which improve visualization of the cellular structures. Adding a video camera with contrast and brightness or gain and offset adjustments to his instruments allowed further enhanced cellular exploration. Inoué's collaborations with many commercial and academic partners were paramount to his hardware developments. His successful approach of developing new techniques in microscopy in order to answer critical questions in cell biology was the key to his contributions to both science and teaching. Inoué was a founder and course director for the intensive analytical and quantitative light microscopy course at MBL from 1979 through 1987. Shinya moved year-round to the MBL and became a permanent Marine Biological Laboratory senior scientist in 1982, and then in 1992 was named an MBL Distinguished Scientist. In 1998, Shinya became very active for the remainder of his life with the Biological Bulletin Journal on the editorial board, section editor, and associate editor. I can recall attending a symposium in 1988 with Shinya.
And I'd like to introduce to you Shinya Inoué, investigator at the laboratory.
There are some seats. Why don't you come on in and... This is indeed a very happy occasion for us, especially for myself today, to be able to welcome back to Woods Hole as part of the centennial celebration two pioneers in cell research who are also two wonderful, great teachers. If I can take a few moments to recount, I first met Katie Dan at Musashi Higher School, which was his first teaching job in Tokyo, maybe the first teaching job he ever held, a few months before Pearl Harbor. This smart-looking American-educated young professor doubly surprised our class by perching right onto the podium and onto the lectern, a behavior we'd never imagined of a professor in Japan. And then he asked us, well, what shall we talk about today?
The world at large. Fatima? Now it's your turn.
The highlight of that came about a year after the end of the war, when Dr. Shinya Inoué came to my laboratory. And before he came, we had been talking that we would like to try to observe some birefringence of the spindle. But didn't have any microscope. And finally, Shinya said he would make a polarization microscope himself. Go ahead. Misaki Station had been occupied by Japanese Navy as a submarine base. So there were many bases of machine guns, not guns, but just bases. And Shinya found an iron rod or iron bar like that, which he decided to use as an optical bench. And he tied individual lens on that. It's a difficult thing because all it comes off the right direction. And because of that, when Shinya came to this country, he immediately developed a fine microscope, as you know. And for familiarity, we call Shinya's microscope Shinya Scope.
Great memories to have met and observed Inoué in action at the MBL. Beyond his scientific achievements, Shinya was a significant philanthropist to the Marine Biological Laboratory and others. He also supported his laboratory members financially at times when grants did not come through. Shinya Inoué has left a lasting legacy not only of scientific discovery and technological developments, but also, more importantly, of personal kindness and generosity. His sharing and openness in science should be an example to all of us, which is why we keep his legacy alive here at the Marine Biological Laboratory.